Welcome to Melissa Honey Speaks, where we chat about feminine magic, mindset, and manifesting. I'm your host and feminine magic guide, Melissa Honey. Welcome back to another episode of Melissa Honey Speaks. On today's episode, I want to discuss the topic of relationship harmony and the masculine versus the feminine energy. So, as I said it before in a couple other videos, is that the feminine energy and the masculine energy is not necessarily about man and woman. It's really just about energy. And a man can display more feminine energy and a woman could display more masculine energy, and that's totally fine. This is really just about energy and how it relates to how the energies work, how the energies could work in a relationship. One of the things that I teach my clients is about relationship harmony and how they can use the masculine and the feminine energy to set goals and achieve their goals, using that energy back and forth between the parties or between the couple. So like I said, it's not about man or woman, it's really just about energy. So in relationship harmony is about who brings the most feminine energy. That's the person who would take care of the feminine energetic ideas and processes. So the masculine and the feminine work together to achieve goals. The masculine can set a goal. The feminine would nurture the goal, would understand and figure out and look for the things that have been in the way. Maybe you tried to a goal before and there were things that got in the way of those goals. So that's the feminine part, is that she's going to nurture the goal. She is going to be devoted to the goal. She's going to be looking for ways to remove obstacles. If you have obstacles in your way, what are they? How can the spirit lead us into the right direction? What do I have to remove from the situation in order for us? What obstacles do I have to remove or get around in order for us to create or to achieve this goal? And then the feminine energy could discover ideas on how are we going to achieve this goal. And then she comes up with the ideas of how are we going to create this goal between the two of us. The masculine energy takes that information and uses it for money management, uses it for whatever protection and security and all those things around the goal. So when we're thinking about masculine and feminine energy, it's not necessarily a balanced dynamic. It's really a harmonious dynamic, because the energies are bouncing off of each other back and forth. So it's, that if something is in balance, it's kind of stagnant, it's static, it's just in one place. And we think about harmony, we think about the idea that it's harmony, things are going back and forth. It might be up and down, back and forth, around and around, but everything is complementary. The masculine and feminine energy are complementary. They're never in competition. And if they're in competition, no goals can be achieved, because everything is in competition. And there's going to always be the bumping, energy are going to be bumping into each other and knocking into each other versus flowing with each other. So because of that, we want to always be cognizant of the idea that the feminine energy is receiving, the masculine energy is giving. And because of that, that's the flow, the give and the take, the give and the take, the give and the take of the two energies. So when you're thinking about, I don't want to talk about necessarily gender roles, because it's not necessarily about gender. This is about the roles of the energies of the people inside this relationship or in this partnership. So even if in any partnership, there has to be that dynamic. Those energies still have to work together. Someone has to bring in that feminine energy and someone has to bring in the masculine energy, and they have to work together. They have to bounce off each other so that goals can be created and achieved. So the masculine energy is about leadership and about support, and it's about money management and the dynamics of that. The feminine energy, like I said, is about the nurture, is about the removing of obstacles is about creating the how. How are we going to achieve this goal? Those energies work together. And when you have a partnership, you have the most dynamic partnership when you can understand that these two energies have to work together. Two people in a partnership, both of them cannot be in a feminine energetic place. One has to be masculine in energy and one has to be feminine in order for ideas and goals to be achieved. They can be achieved other ways, but you'll run into a lot of obstacles because you'll find yourself running into each other, because there can't be two leaders on the same goal. Someone has to be supporting the leader. Someone has to be nurturing the goal. Someone has to be managing. Someone has to decide what the goal is going to be. Someone has to decide how are we going to achieve this goal. Someone has to nurture. Someone has to love on that goal. So all those things are a part of who we are energetically, because I, as a person who identifies as a woman, I have both masculine energy and feminine energy within me, and I can use one more than I use the other depending on the situation. And that's with men too. Men can also do the same thing. They can use their energy depending on how they want to use it. So the idea is that within a partnership, the partnership itself is going to do much better when you know where you are. Like I said, this is not about gender roles. This is really about how the masculine and the feminine energy roll together to achieve something greater. If you want to create anything, I would say, as far as a partnership or a marriage or whatever it is, you do want to have those energies in place. You want to know who's going to do what, who is going to be the support person, who is going to be the person who decides what the goal is. Maybe you have 1,000 ideas and you have to decide on one. Who's going to decide? After you all have a discussion, who's going to decide what the final plan is going to be? Who's going to figure out how we're going to do this? Who's going to decide on the budget? All these things. You have to have the energy in the right place so that you can create or achieve the goals that you set for yourself as a partnership or as a couple, however. So the idea of masculine and feminine is just really about energy, and how are we going to master these energies within us to understand how they can work with us and how they can benefit us when we understand where we are. We understand maybe I bring more masculine energy and that's where I am, and maybe my partner brings more feminine energy, or vice versa. If we don't know where we stand, then we're going to find ourselves in competition, and we never want to be in competition when we're creating a goal or trying to achieve a goal together. You always want to be complementing each other. It's never the same energy. I know that saying, I'm bringing the same energy. You don't want to bring the same. You want to bring a complementary energy to get something done. You want to bring a complementary energy, because a complementary energy, when combined, two complementary energies coming together, what creates synergy, and synergy creates something, creates a goal achievement. You create the synergy around the idea. You get all the energies going together, and boom, you've achieved a goal that you couldn't have achieved before because you were too busy bumping heads and in competition. So when you begin to understand that the masculine energy can actually set a goal and the feminine energy can decide or bring ideas on how to achieve that goal, then it's complementary. It's not me versus them or them versus me, but it's us working together as a collective consciousness to create something that is bigger and better for ourselves. So the masculine energy and the masculine and feminine energy can work together. They don't have to be separate. They don't have to be in competition. It's not one against the other. It's more complementary. It's more loving. It's more. It's not even challenging because the energies naturally flow together. They don't typically flow at each other as far as bumping heads or competition. They really flow together when you use them correctly and you use them guided from your higher power, your higher self. Is that the masculine energy are complementary and they work together. And once you learn how to work them together, then like I said, you can create some of you can achieve some of your greatest goals in partnerships because you are understanding how the energy flows together and creates bigger and better things. Thank you for joining. That's all I have for today.
Thank you for tuning in today. Please like and comment and share. And if you like our content, please subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Links below.